So today we're going to do a quick flexi flow that's really good for flexibility. So if you are working on that flexibility, that stretching, that mobility, this is really quick, really good for doing even every day, just to work into those areas that you need to get flexy and stretchy. So you don't need any props for today's practice. If you have a mat, then great. If not, then just finding a comfortable carpet or a rug. And then we're going to start lying down on our backs. So we're just going to start in our reclined butterfly. So bring the toes, the feet together, just lying back. And we're just going to take the hands to the belly and just starting to settle into the breath. So just putting the hands on the belly just really helps you to feel the breath. So we're just going to tune into the body. Just checking in with how we're feeling today. Just noticing any thoughts or feelings that arise. Just letting them go, just letting them drift on. And then bringing the attention to the breath. So we're just going to flow with a nasal breath today. So we breathe in through the nose, we breathe out through the nose. Just the ebbs and the flows. Imagine the breath's like a wave. And just taking one more breath here. And then just extending, straightening out that left leg, flexing the toes so they're nice and active. Just bringing that right knee into the chest. Just maybe just moving it around a bit. So starting to warm into the hips. Gently guiding it into the chest, squeezing it up, and then just flexing that foot. So really activating that right foot. As you activate that right foot, you start to press the heel forwards. You really feel that hip start to open, start to engage. So breathe here. Really hugging that knee in nice and tight. Really flexing those toes, pressing that heel forwards. And we're just going to take that right knee and we're just going to cross it over the body. So coming into a twist, taking that right arm up, maybe taking that left hand, just guiding that right knee down towards the floor. So starting to twist into this lower back here. Good, and then picking it back up. Keeping that left foot out, we're going to straighten that leg now. Just start to work it in towards the body. So maybe pointing and flexing the toes on the right foot. So we're really starting to stretch into the hamstring now. Keeping that left foot active. Keep the left hip pressed down onto the floor. Breathing here. Guide that leg in a little bit closer. So really stretch into that hamstring. Remember, if it hurts, just backing out slightly. If not, just breathing into those areas of tightness and tension. And releasing that right leg down. This time picking the left leg up. So bringing that knee into the chest. Really starting to flex those left toes. So left heel lifts as you guide that knee in a little bit further. So really pointing these toes up to the ceiling, lifting that heel, squeezing it all in. And then taking the right hand to the left knee, guiding it over. Maybe taking the gaze over the left shoulder, taking that left shoulder down towards the floor, just keeping this right hand on the outside of the left knee. So we're really stretching into this lower body area. One more breath. And then release. Taking that left leg up this time, guiding it into the chest. Keeping that knee soft if we need to, really stretching, lengthening into that left hamstring. Keeping those right toes pointing up towards the ceiling. Remember, keeping that leg nice and active. Breathing here, so breathing into that hamstring. Really think about directing the breath into that hamstring. One more breath. And release, bringing the knees up into the chest. We're just going to rock forwards and backwards into seated. Cross over at the ankles and just finding that downward dog. So starting off in tabletop, hands to hip width, to shoulder width apart. Spread the fingers nice and wide. So really ground into the hands. Tuck the toes, send the hips nice and high. Find your downward dog. So starting off just by pedaling the feet. So bending one knee and then the other. So really getting into those hamstrings and those hips. Taking the gaze between the ankles or the knees. So really starting to warm up into that body. And then just find some stillness here. Take a breath here together. Inhale. Exhale. You're going to inhale, float the right leg up, finding our three-legged dog, bending that knee. Trying to get that right heel right into that butt. Lift that right knee a little bit higher up towards the ceiling. So really stretching into the front of the right hip here. Inhale. Exhale. Step the right foot between the hands. Drop down onto the left knee. Staying on the fingertips. Lift the chest up. Low lunge. Take another breath. Inhale. As you exhale, start to straighten out that right leg. Flex the toes, half split. So stretching into the hamstring. Keep the chest lifted. Start to engage through the core. Inhale. As you exhale, float back in to your half lunge. Take the left hand to the inside of the right foot. Float the right hand up. Maybe just tucking that back toe. Lifting. Coming in to our twisted lunge. Inhale. And exhale, floating down. Step back into our plank pose. Lift the hips, downward facing dog. Take a breath here. Inhale. And exhale. And an inhale, float the left foot up. Bending at the knee. Really grounding down into the hands. Seeing if you can lift that left knee a little bit higher. Really opening out into the front of the left hip. Inhale. Exhale, left foot comes forward this time, finding that low lunge. Onto the fingertips, lift the chest. Really grounding down into that front foot, sliding the right knee back. Inhale. Take an exhale, gently straighten into that half split. Inhale. Exhale, right hand to the inside of the left foot, reaching up, maybe lifting that back knee, finding that gentle twist. Take an inhale. As you exhale, float the left hand down. We're going to turn the toes in on the left foot, drop down onto the right heel, make our way over into a wide fold. So just angling the toes in very slightly, taking the hands down towards the face. We're just going to fold down and walk the hands back so they're in line with the heels, gently tipping the head down towards the floor. So we're really getting into those hamstrings here. Inhale. As you exhale, just going to start to bend into the right knee and then the left. So just maybe moving the hands from side to side as you just move into those hips, flexing into those hips. Trying to keep both feet down onto the floor. So just coming down as low as you can. And then finding that stillness once again, straightening into the legs again, walking the hands back. Maybe even taking the hands out the back if that is accessible. One more breath. and release. Bringing the hands onto the knees, just angling those toes out to about 45 degrees. Bringing the hands down onto the knees, just going to dip the right shoulder down. And then the left, just looking up over the opposite shoulder. So really stretching into the back. Maybe staying here for a second if that feels good. And then taking it the other way. And then rising up, finding your goddess pose. Stepping the right foot in to the top of the mat. And just finding your mountain pose. Take the big toes to touch with that gap between the heels. Really reaching up through the inner arches of the feet to engaging the knees, the quads. Tuck the tailbone, really grounding into this core. Rounding the shoulders, hands by the sides, palms facing forwards. Just taking a breath here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, float the hands up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift, half forward fold. Plant the hands, step straight back. Downward dog. Take a breath here, inhale. As you exhale, tip the weight forward into your plank pose. From here, keeping the toes tucked, dropping the hips down, lifting the chest. Back to your plank pose. Lift the hips, downward dog. Doing that again, so shift the weight forward, high plank. Drop the hips, lift the chest, upward dog. So just staying here just for a moment, maybe shifting the weight backwards and forwards on the wrists and on the toes if that feels good. And then back, plank pose, downward facing dog. From here, shift the weight forwards onto the hands, lower chest and chin all the way down towards the floor, coming down onto your belly. We're just going to bring the hands to the outer edge of the mat and make a spider with the fingertips, just coming up into a cobra, just to give a little bit of a deeper back bend. So really coming up onto the fingertips, making a tent with those hands. I'm going to lift up here, just taking it as far as is comfortable for you. If that's too much here, then easing out very slightly. Again, just working with whatever feels good for your body. Keeping the chest lifted, keeping the shoulders relaxed. And then from here, just gently moving the body from side to side, floating back down. Do that one more time. So inhale, lift. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Just moving gently down. Planting the hands under the shoulders, taking the big toes to touch, taking the knees as wide as is comfortable and sinking back into a really wide leg child's pose. Coming back to the breath. So just reconnecting to the breath, how we started the practice, coming back to that breath, back to the body. So letting go of anything that's just happened during that flow, any attachment, any judgment, just losing, releasing, relaxing. And then when you're ready, just walking the hands in towards the body, keeping the eyes closed, coming in to your Sukhasana. So just taking one foot, one leg in front of the other, taking the hands down onto the knees, taking a breath, inhale, exhale. Pressing the palms together at heart center, just tucking the head down towards the fingertips. Just taking a couple of moments to thank yourself for practicing this morning, for showing up, for moving your body without ego or judgment. Thank you for letting me guide you through that practice. Namaste. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed that. Please leave me a comment down below if you did. If you found that good, if you found that helpful, then please do let me know. So as I said, that's gentle enough for you to practice every day. It's really quick. It doesn't take any time at all. Thank you. Namaste.